Hi, my name is Inga Thompson. I am the Present Secretary of the Prevention of Senior Abuse Network here in Simcoe County. COVID-19 has impacted us all over the world in many ways this year, but it has particularly had an impact on seniors, their caregivers, and healthcare providers that are trying to support them. Today we want to talk about how those three have been impacted by COVID and the impact that it has with regards to elder abuse. In this video, we're going to talk about caregivers and how they have been affected by COVID. Now, when we talk about caregivers, who are they? Who are we talking about? Caregivers may be another senior, a senior living with the individual who needs some support, their spouse, their partner. It may be family, their children, their grandchildren, nieces, nephews, anyone that's around to support them. It may be a neighbour who pops in on a regular basis just to see how they are, or it may be friends that they connect with on a regular basis. What do these caregivers do? Well, they can do many things. They may do very practical tasks. They may take them for appointments. They may take them shopping or go and do their shopping for them. Help them pay their bills, do a little bit of cooking or cleaning. Or they may just simply be there to support them, check in with them, talk to them, listen to them, and just give them the support that they need. But caregivers are people who care. That's why they're called caregivers, which means that they worry, they fret, they're concerned. Where do they come from? Well, many of them live with the senior, but many don't. They may live on the same street, they may live in the same town, but there are many seniors who have caregivers who are supporting them from afar. How has COVID impacted on caregivers? Well, if they're living at home with them, you can just imagine the strain that that might be, especially over this last year when many of those caregivers themselves are dealing with extra pressures, extra stressors. For some people, we have what we call sandwich generation, where there are seniors, caregivers, and the caregivers' children all living in the same household. As you know, many of the children have had to do homeschooling, so the caregiver is not only trying to support the senior, but also trying to support their children in a completely new and different way. For many of those caregivers, they too have been put out of work over the last year, which has added extra stress and financial pressure onto the family. They also have lost their support system, whether it is the formal support system that may go along with the seniors or whether it's their own personal support system. They probably haven't been able to get together with their friends as much as they would have liked to. This can result in a lot of depression, anxiety, fear, angst, and can often result in impatience and intolerance with seniors and children. This, of course, increases the likelihood of abuse, whether it's intentional or whether it's unintentional. They're a victim of stress. And again, many seniors who may use drugs and alcohol, this can be the same for caregivers. You know, that extra glass of wine at night becomes a bottle of wine, or an extra couple of beers on the weekend can become a case of beer on the weekend. So this puts extra pressure on them. If there has been a relationship where abuse has been part of it, you add all these extra stressors in here and suddenly we have the likelihood of increase in severity of any of the abuse that may occur. And because nobody is around and nobody's coming into the house, the other aspect is this is not being identified. Caregivers are not being recognised for being under stress, and abuse that may be occurring may not be being recognised. So as caregivers, what can you do? Well, at the moment, we just need to accept that things are a little out of our control. Support in ways that you can. You've probably had to deal with flexibility over the years anyway, as things have evolved and changed. So you know you can do this. You know you're probably very good at this. Reduce your expectations. Change your routines if need be. Find new ways of doing old things. Write out a care plan. If you do have other people involved and you want everybody on the same page, then write out things that are important. What's necessary for your senior, for your loved one. Make sure that everybody is doing the same thing. Watch out for changes in your loved one and in yourself. Be cognizant of when things are starting to get a little stressful. Or your mom, your dad is starting to experience changes in the way that they feel, they demonstrate their emotions, they act. Just be aware of that, recognize that, but also recognize that in yourself. Your impatience, your sadness, your fears. Be aware that you may be just getting tired. Reach out to others. Utilize the supports that are around you. There's many supports offered online. Make sure you connect with them too. Utilize your own personal supports as well. And most importantly, take care of yourself. You need to look after you before you can look after anyone else. If you think about when you travel and you're on a plane, they always tell you to make sure you put your oxygen mask on first before you aid others. This is just as important now. Make sure you take care of you. We also need to take a look at how we just strengthen society as a whole. We need to reduce social isolation. When we encourage walking, talking, laughing, we improve everyone's physical, emotional, and cognitive impact. Families and caregivers can't do this alone. We need to ensure that there are policies and programs that support the seniors and the caregivers, using community centres, transportation. If there's teams and agencies involved, just coordinating all these. As a caregiver, you can help to do that. We need to make sure that we educate people about the possibility of abuse, what is abuse, understanding all those different types of abuse that exist out there, and what can you do about this? What are the resources to support that? If when you do that, you identify things much earlier, things don't get out of hand. So what do we need to consider? We need to think about the future. We need to think about how we involve seniors. Anything in the future that has to do with seniors should be including seniors, even at the local and provincial level. We need to ensure that elder abuse is talked about. This is something that becomes just part of the conversation. As I said, increase that collaboration. We need to make sure we have a safe place for seniors to talk, seniors to report, caregivers to report and talk. Safe havens. Let's make sure we've got housing for seniors that are safe. And we need to make sure that the courts and the legal system is looking out for all these things too. So there's lots of things that as caregivers that you can do to support yourself and to support seniors. It's a very difficult time with COVID. It's likely to continue for a little bit longer. So the more we can address these issues, the better we can all be. Stay safe, take care, and look after yourself.